It's a cloudy morning in the desert, and I'm wishing you all happiness, clarity, and freedom today. It's a foggy day, it's a cloudy day, it's a dreary Monday, but we're still out here spreading the message. And we're talking about the moon today. We're talking about the full moon in the sign of Gemini. Full moon in Gemini, this is a big one. I've been waiting for this full moon for my entire life. No, I'm joking. But full moon in Gemini is very intense. Full moon in Gemini, this full moon in Gemini is actually going to be extremely intense because this one is right with Mars, which happens to be retrograde during this time. Now, the big astrological event of the past season, of this season, and of the past few months has been Mars retrograde. Okay, Mars has been retrograde in the sign of Gemini for a while now. And this is the major astrological thing that has been going on. And now we are having a full moon coming up to Mars in Gemini. So that is why this lunation, this full moon, is very, very important. So we are going to want to pay attention to this full moon. We are going to want to stay focused during this full moon. Stay focused. Stay in tune with yourself. Stay in tune with your energy, right? This is what we're going to want to do during this full moon in order to make the most out of this full moon. With these videos, my goal now is to explain what direction we should move in, what kind of energy we should move in, and things we should watch out for as well. What kind of energy should we watch out for, and what kind of energy should we move towards during this full moon, right? And for this full moon, right, it's peak energy. It's a full moon. First off, to get it out of the way, this is a full moon. It's going to be peak energy. It's going to be culmination. It's going to be the culmination of the past few weeks of the energies that we have been feeling ever since the start of Sagittarius season, right? Because now the moon's going to be opposite the sun in Sagittarius, and it's also going to be opposite to Mercury and Venus, right, in Sagittarius. And that's big because Mercury is the ruler of this lunation. Mercury is the ruler of the sign of Gemini. And this full moon is opposite to Mercury. So that is a recipe for tension. That is a recipe for tensions and a little bit of dis-ease. Okay, so we're going to want to watch out for that. But with the sign of Gemini, when I think of Gemini, I think of air. I always think of air, mutable air with Gemini. Okay, it's a sign of mutable air. It's a very quick sign. It likes to be in many different places all at once. And that's the weakness of Gemini. See, Gemini tries to do too many things. I have Saturn in Gemini. So some things I struggle with are Gemini type things, right? Gemini, or communication, is also a Gemini type thing. You saw me slip up there, right? Talking about Saturn and Gemini. Communication is a very big topic, a very big thing related to Gemini, okay? Communication is everything. It's mutable air. It's air coming out of my mouth, changing air, mutable air, words, information, thoughts, right? Your thoughts, very much so connected to the sign of Gemini. So we are going to want to watch out for our thoughts. We are going to want to watch out. We are going to want to watch out for our thoughts, okay? Your thoughts will creep up on you. Your thoughts will take advantage of you. Take advantage of your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts take advantage of you. Okay, take advantage of your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts take advantage of you during this full moon. What are some ways we can, take advantage of our thoughts? We can meditate. Okay, meditation is the biggest thing that I want to say for this full moon. To ease the sign of Gemini, to move away from the chattering thoughts, the chattering brain, the flightiness of Gemini. Gemini is a very flighty sign. It can be in many different places. It can be very ungrounded. So we are going to want to ground ourselves during this full moon in order to make the most out of this energy and to balance this energy out. Okay, this energy is going to lean towards flightiness, rapid thoughts going everywhere, anxiety even, racing thoughts. Okay, that's Gemini, and that's specifically a malefic planet in Gemini, Mars in Gemini, retrograde, okay? So you're really going to want to take care of your mind, take take care of your thoughts during this full moon. Your thoughts, your mind will play tricks on you, and it will make you believe certain things, okay? But I want to tell you that there is only one truth, and that is your truth. What I'm saying, I'm just saying my truth, and if you resonate, that's cool. But my truth doesn't have to be your truth. See, my truth is my truth, and your truth is your truth. So we are going to want to take care of our minds by meditation. Meditation makes you realize that nothing matters. It makes you realize that nothing matters, but also everything matters at the same time. When you meditate, you become still, and you actually take advantage of your brain rather than your brain taking advantage of you. And this is key for Gemini, for Mars in Gemini, meditation. Okay, during this season, I've been noticing that when I skip a meditation, when I don't meditate, I get very confused. I get very flighty. Okay, that's just me because I have a predominance of the Vata dosha, actually. I have a lot of air in my chart. Okay, Vata is air and ether and space, air and space. So we are going to want to watch out for that during this full moon. Okay, it's a very airy full moon. So we are going to want to ground ourselves. Meditation, guys. Meditation is wonderful for grounding. Just sit down and be and focus on your breath. Focus on the energy. Don't focus on trying to change any outcomes. Don't focus on the events that are going on in your life. Just focus on the present moment. Be in this moment. This is how we can meditate. We can tune into the breath. Okay, that's my next point. With this full moon in Gemini, we are going to want to focus on our breath. The lungs are associated with the sign of Gemini. Okay, everything that is two in your body, 2 lungs, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 shoulders, right? These are the type of things that are associated with Gemini, the sign of the twins. So we can take this opportunity to tune into our breath. Breath is everything with the sign of Gemini. It's an air sign. Your breath is everything. Tune into your breath. Focus on your lungs. Focus on your breath. You might have seen my community post. Very simple. Fill up your lungs. Focus on your breath. You see, focus on your breathing. This is how we can stay calm and ease the chattering mind, the monkey mind, the racing thoughts, the Gemini racing thoughts with Mars there. This is how we can calm our mind. Focus on our breath, focus on our breathing, and this is how we focus on the present moment. Focus on what is happening in this moment. This is how we calm our minds, and this is how we can take advantage of this full moon rather than having this full moon take advantage of us. Okay, this full moon can definitely take advantage of us. Mars in Gemini. We can really get caught up in our thoughts, really get caught up in our minds, and let this confuse us. Because another thing I want to say is that this full moon and this Mars in retrograde has been square to Neptune in Pisces. Okay, it's the Pisces-Gemini square. Pisces is all about letting go, spirituality, and realizing that nothing matters. Realizing that all this is a silly game. It's a silly joke. It doesn't really matter. We're just having fun down here on Earth. Okay, but we take things too seriously. We get stuck in the mind, and that's a Gemini, right? That can be Mars in Gemini, square to Neptune. So we are really going to want to, it's meditation, guys. Meditation, breathing, focus on your breath, focus on the present moment. This is how we can be good during this full moon. This is how we can take advantage of our energy rather than having our energy take advantage of us during this full moon. So we're going to want to watch out for that. Okay, Neptune in Pisces. But the thing about that is that it also just went direct. Neptune just stationed direct in Pisces. It's been going backwards for a while, but now it's going forward. So things might start to clear up. You know, seeing that Neptune is stationing direct, this makes me think that things are going to start to clear up a little bit, right? The fog is going to roll out. Things are going to start to clear up, but it's still square to Mars retrograde in Gemini. So that's what we're going to want to be cognizant of. It's still square, okay? And it's still that tension between Pisces and Gemini, that tension between letting go and being stuck in our minds. So meditation is everything. We must also move towards, more beneficial things that are related to the sign of Gemini, right? Breathing, like I said, the lungs, meditation, and communication. That's another thing, right? Communication can be very tricky during this time. With Mars retrograde in a Mercury sign, it can be very tricky. So we are going to want to make sure that our communication is on point. Make sure that we aren't getting too angry at other people. That can be a very common thing with Mars. Mars in Gemini. Okay, Mars is the planet of aggression and fire, and Gemini is the sign of communication and air and speaking and thoughts. So you can see how with Mars in Gemini, there can be a tendency to cuss at people, to get mad at people, to get mad at ourselves, right? We're going to want to make sure that we are staying away from that. We want to spread love, spread positivity, spread a positive message, right? Talk to yourself in your head positively as well, right? We communicate with ourselves during the day in our heads. We want to make sure our thoughts are on point, our thoughts are positive. How do we do this? Again, meditation. Move towards meditation, move towards a calm state. When we are calm, we can be aware of our thoughts. We can be aware of what is going on in our minds. We can be aware of our energy. So make sure we are meditating. Make sure we are being aware of our communication. Be aware of the words that are coming out of our mouth, right? Don't spread hate. Don't spread too much aggression. If you're a very fiery person, watch out for that. Don't spread too much hate. Don't spread too much negativity. Focus on positivity. Focus on that Pisces energy of compassion. Focus on spreading a positive message rather than spreading hate. This is what we are going to want to move towards during this full moon in Gemini, right? Now, this full moon in Gemini, to end it off, it is, right, opposite to Mercury and Venus. Like I said, this is going to be some tension, some opposition. Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius, and Mars retrograde in Gemini with the full moon. This might be a very tough time, okay? This might be a very tough time in your life. This might be a very intense time in your life. So I want to tell you to take it easy. Don't have to do a million things at once. You don't have to focus on so many things, right? That's something that I realized in my own life. For a while, I was really focused on everyday uploads. Every single day, I got to upload a video. Every single day, I have to do that. And I attached to that. I attached to it. See, there's nothing wrong with that. But when it becomes an attachment, now there is everything wrong with that, okay? And it became an attachment in my life. So I had to let that go. And I had to say, I need to allocate my energy. I can't focus on a million things at once. I can focus on one thing at a time. Slow down a little bit. Okay, Gemini is a very quick sign, like I said. And I have Saturn there, and I'm learning a lot of things with Saturn and Gemini. Saturn and Gemini wants to focus on so many things at once. It wants to focus on a million things at once, accomplish a million tasks at once. But we must slow down. About Pisces is about slowing down, allocating your energy wisely, focusing on one thing at a time. This is something I'm learning about Gemini, and it's something we are going to want to be aware of during this full moon. With the full moon in Gemini, it's peak energy in Gemini. We're gonna be called to move in this direction and in that direction and all these directions, but make sure we are slowing down. Slow down. Mars in Gemini is very quick, rapid, and to counteract that, we must slow down. Focus on the present moment. Focus on meditation. Focus on your life. Focus on being in a state of ease rather than dis-ease. Focus on harmony. Focus on what you need to do in your life to make your life the best that it can possibly be. So thank you all for tuning in to this message about the full moon in Gemini. Get ready. It's going to be a big one, okay? But it's not an eclipse. We're coming off of eclipse season, so that also means that it's going to be a lot less intense than, the Scorpio and Taurus energies that we're coming off of. So thank you all for tuning in. Much love to every single one of you. I want you to like this video. I want you to go down in the comments and comment whatever you want. Whatever you want, just leave any comment. I want you to subscribe to the channel if you are new. I want you to go in the description, check out my crystals, Freedom Vibes crystals. I want you to join the Patreon down below as well, and you can donate to me on PayPal down below as well. So thank you all for tuning in. Much love and abundance and joy and happiness and clarity and freedom to all of you. Thank you for being here. Make it a great day or not. The choice is yours.